What's up? I'm Pete Last Guy and...
Oh,
let's start again. What's up? I'm Pete Last Guy.
My name is Rick Robinson. I'm the man of 1,000 puns.
And this is Spoiler Alert, where we take a trip back to the past, come back to the present, to ruin all the surprises for this month's WWE pay-per-view. And this month's WWE pay-per-view is the Royal Rumble. We didn't plan that. So we're just gonna run through the match card all the way down to the Rumble match itself. We're gonna tell you who wins each match. We might have differing opinions. We went to different alternate versions of the future. It's multiverse theory. You know, we don't have time. We don't have time to get into it.
Just what it is, Morty. Okay.
Get into it, okay? But we're gonna give you our predictions. We're being honest for each of those matches, and a couple of predictions on who we think we might see as a surprise entrant in the Rumble match when we get to that point. So. Let's start from the beginning.
On the pre-show, we have Sasha Banks and Nia Jax in one-on-one competition. Peter, what did you see?
I've got Jax on this one. Calling it for Jax, which I think is a good decision because we already know that Sasha Banks is very resilient. We've seen her take beating after beating from Charlotte, lose and win and lose and then keep winning again to come back. Whereas Nia Jax, we've also seen her continue to steamroll through people, but she needs to keep looking like that. Sasha can handle this loss, and they can keep this feud going beyond Royal Rumble. This feud is honestly still kind of in its infancy if they play it out. They used to have much longer feuds than they do now, so maybe that's one of these. I think it's good to have Jax going over. Keeps her looking strong.
I would concur with that. I would not at all be surprised if we have a fatal four-way at WrestleMania involving Sasha and Nia, who have been battling back and forth, trying to get back in the title picture, along with Bayley and Charlotte.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. I'd be
Let's
down.
go. She's not like most girls. Speaking of people who aren't like most girls, Cesaro and Sheamus take on the Club. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
I didn't know what match that was for.
Tag Team Champion Gold is on the line, and Gallows and Anderson, for their great talents, haven't always been given the chance to shine in ring. They've gotten to do comedy segments, they've gotten to do all these other promo stuff, but when it comes down to it, they haven't won a big money match, mostly because they were feuding with the New Day, which is what happens when you're number two, is how you lose to number one. They have a chance to be number one right now. Because, guess what? Cesaro and Sheamus are both in the Royal Rumble. Why not have this be the time where they lose their tag champs and get to go in there, and maybe we start them feuding up all the way to WrestleMania? Why not? Gives them something to do.
I like the sound of that, and I would be excited to see it, but that's not what happens. They're not going to take the titles off of Cesaro and Sheamus this soon. I don't think they're done telling the Cesaro and Sheamus as champions story.
No, that's fair. I mean, as you guys know from Raw Emotion, this guy right here keeps his pulse on that beat.
Keep my pulse on that beat.
Cruiserweight action, we got some purple ropes for some royalty. Rich Swann, the current champion, takes on Neville in a championship match. Peter, show me what you got.
This is going to be a great match. This is going to be a fantastic freaking match. This may be not match of the night, but up there. Top 3 matches of the night, probably. I don't know how many are there. Freaking 12? I don't even. Anyway, the king of the cruiserweights will claim his rightful crown, except it's not a crown, actually. It's like a crown that goes on your waist. It's a belt. It's shiny. It's a belt. He's going to win the Cruiserweight Championship because he's in the middle of this push. He is more over now as a heel than I think he has been in his entire time on the main roster up until that turn.
I would concur with you.
Considering how into it the crowd is and the WWE Universe, etc., and how they haven't really been showing themselves to be committed to holding that belt on one person in that division. It's jumped around a couple times already in this very young division. I think they're going to take it and put it on him, at least for the time being, give credence to his whole King of the Cruiserweights braggadocio, and it's going to be Neville. It's gonna be Neville.
It's gonna be Nev.
Yeah,
that's also what I saw. It was great. Sometimes it's weird how you see 2 different things with our alternate realities, skipping it forward into the time zone and whatnot. And sometimes they line up just like this because
infinite possibilities, really.
Neville is here and he's gonna reign for a long, long time. Speaking of people who have reigned for long times, Charlotte Flair, women's champion 4 times, takes on Bayley in her first attempt to go for gold, and it won't be her last. But she ain't gonna last in this one because there's no way Charlotte. Charlotte is money at pay-per-views. You can't teach that. I don't care if it's Dana Brooke showing up. I don't care if it's Emelina debuting. I don't care who it is or what it is. Bayley's just not gonna. I don't care if it's Stephanie McMahon showing up. No. Sorry, Bayley. Guess what? Side ponytails don't win championships.
If you think that Charlotte's unbeaten at pay-per-view streak is going to end in her very first championship match against Bayley, then I've got a couple of bridges I would love to sell you, absolutely, because no, that's obviously not going to happen. This feud, again, young, needs more time to develop, and Bayley's not going to, come on. Maybe if it was WrestleMania, but it's not.
Or if it was the Raw after.
Well, yeah, also. More likely, actually. Maybe Bayley beats her friggin' Monday. Who knows?
Speaking of people who beat up people, AJ Styles wants to beat up John Cena for a World Championship match. And I don't know. That was the problem, is that like when I was traveling through time, there was just all this fuzz, and there were two people holding up the title, because I honestly don't know. I don't know if AJ Styles is still going to be the face that runs the place, or if the face that runs the place is now going to again be the face that runs the place, but there's going to be a face that runs the place. And I'm... Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'll just accept that.
It's odd that you weren't able to see the who won this match. You couldn't see. You couldn't. Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say that it was a difficult thing to perceive. You know, your brain, your memories can be affected by time travel. That was in that Matthew McConaughey movie.
Yeah.
It's in space, probably.
Time is flat, sir.
Inception, that was the one.
There we go.
Just for the sake of argument, though, I'm going to say AJ Styles on this one. Because I think that John wins that title off of him, yes, but I think he does it later. I think he does it either...
At Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, at Elimination Chamber or somewhere else along the road to WrestleMania. So you still got the possibility of that mythical Taker versus Cena match. We can talk about that later. I think AJ has to look strong against Cena in the end of this, because Cena is, I mean, he can promo as much as he wants about how much he's going to stay around here, and this is my home. Rhymes.
But he has a step down the pike.
Yeah, and that plays into, I think, the story that they're trying to tell, and he really is going to need to start torch passing here, and I think he understands that, just as a person who's been in the business as long as he has. I think he gets that, and I think he's willing to do that for AJ, seeing how well they work with each other in ring and on the mic. I think he's going to play ball, and I think he's going to lose, and AJ wins.
Speaking of deciding who wins, who loses, and who tells the story, Kevin Owens. I'm trying to borrow in all of this.
Whose hotline is gonna bling in this match?
Oh.
That's a bad moral.
Talking about Kevin Owens, who is champion of the universe.
Champion of the universe!
Kevin Owens takes on Roman Reigns with good old Y2J hanging way up there as a sexy pinata in a shark cage. Also, fun fact, this is somehow a no DQ match, which for like, what?
That's what recently on Raw, when they did that match where whoever lost would be banned from ringside in the later match between their friends, and that match was no DQ. So what's the point of banning anyone from ringside?
Yeah,
how are they?
Especially because, like, how do you ban somebody from ringside but also still hang them above in a
stupid
cage? Yeah, who wins this?
Yeah, how does this go down?
Chris Jericho, with all of his wonderful genius, takes that little pen, because he's got the list, and he decides to add the little padlock on the shark cage to the list, uses the pen to open the lock, drops down, trying to land on top of Roman Reigns, ends up landing on Kevin Owens, costing Owens the title, and Owens and Chris Jericho are probably going to be having a WrestleMania match.
I think that something similar happens. There's interference still from Chris Jericho, or alternatively,
factly,
Seth Rollins, he's nowhere on this show officially. He's nowhere on the card because he lost his spot to Sami Zayn on Raw. Either he shows up to wreak some kind of vague havoc in the Rumble match itself, or since him and Reigns are now somewhat sloppily all buddy again, he's just also very angry at Kevin and Chris. I think that's what brought them together, is their mutual hatred. But he shows up during this match to be a real thorn in Kevin Owens' side, costing Kevin Owens the match. I'm sure Chris Jericho somehow still does get out of that shark cage and lands in the ring, and they're probably all going to brawl at some point. But it's no DQ, so I think ultimately Roman takes it because of Seth's interference. And then maybe after that match, Triple H shows up and something crazy happens, but I don't know.
Speaking of crazy things that happen, we are here, ladies and gentlemen, the main event of this pay-per-view, the Royal Rumble. 30 superstars with obviously equal chances at headlining WrestleMania. Before we actually get into surprise stuff, who do you think's going to win it?
Okay, this is, everyone's saying it, and it's because it's true. It's one of the least predictable WrestleMania, the least predictable Royal Rumble matches in recent memory.
Yep.
And so, after a lot of thought, is it going to be Taker? Set up the John Cena versus Taker thing at WrestleMania that everybody wants. See him be retired in that match. It's going to be Brock Lesnar because we certainly haven't seen enough of him at WrestleMania. Or is it going to be Braun Strowman?
Roar!
Because we got that rumored WrestleMania match from last year that never played out between him and Taker. Are they still dedicated to that now that Braun Strowman is more over than he was? I had the same reaction myself because I'm thinking I'm a huge Braun Strowman mark. If you watch the Raw Emotions, you know this.
Yeah.
But
no.
He's not at that level yet. And if Taker's going to pass the torch to somebody, he should do it to the person that I'm going to call as the winner, even though we haven't gotten into our surprise appearances yet. I think Finn Balor comes back from injury in the Royal Rumble match. He gets his WrestleMania main event opportunity, and it ends up being against The Undertaker, and then maybe he'll retire him, because spooky to spooky. And if you're gonna bring Finn Balor back after you pushed him hard in his first friggin' 2 or 3 weeks and you lost all that momentum, if you want to get that push going again, which I think WWE does, especially going into this whole UK thing as well, you gotta put a rocket on that dude and you gotta push him that hard. You gotta give him that WrestleMania match, and I think that's what happens. I hope that's what happens. Man, do I.
Well, I know who Vince McMahon is. I know that he's a 70-year-old man who thinks that he's 12 steps ahead when he's maybe 4 steps behind, and he does something boring
Randy Orton, his Tinder bio.
It probably is. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is not Paul Heyman, but as unpredictable as this Rumble is, it's going to be something boring. It's going to be something nobody wants. That's how the Rumble has gone for 3 years straight. Who's going to care that Randy Orton is now a 2-time Royal Rumble winner? I'm not going to, but it's going to happen because, I don't know, he's just vaguely boring. Even though Randy Orton is entertaining as hell, I love his character, I love what he does in the ring, it's just nobody really wants that. So why not continue to give the people what they don't want?
That's on a poster in the front office at WWE headquarters.
Yes.
Just in front of a picture of an eagle.
That's just what happens, because Vince McMahon's going to Vince McMahon. Getting into things that also don't make any sense.
Yes.
Crazy predictions on who enters the Rumble.
Okay, I got 3 surprise entrants. I want to talk about... I had 3. 3. He's probably going to be there, but he's not one of my guesses. Tyler Bate has got to be there, because if they want to lend some legitimacy and visibility to this UK branch of their company that they're going to have now, the UK brand for the tournament that just happened, they're going to want to have at least the champion show up in the Royal Rumble match. It's the perfect opportunity to get him on TV in front of millions and millions of WWE Universe fans. So Tyler Bate comes out, and you can include maybe Pete Dunne in that. Trent Seven might show up, and any of these UK guys. But Tyler Bate to represent them is my pick. I think Conor McGregor might show up. Just in the same vein as kind of how Shaq showed up, setting up his thing with The Big Show, which is why I did that.
There we go.
Kind of the same vein, silly celebrity appearance. Well, not silly necessarily, because he is a fighter, but
he is silly.
And I think he'd be down for that. He loves playing people. He loves playing the fans. He loves doing that sort of crap. And, gosh, my third pick was maybe gonna be Kenny Omega, but he just recently said in an interview, in no uncertain terms, I'm not going to be in the Royal Rumble. I don't want people to be sitting there and disappointed I didn't show up. But so I'm going to tell you now. But he also loves working the fans, kind of like Finn Balor does. So I don't know. So I'm not going to pick Kenny Omega for that, just because that seems less likely, considering contract things that you may or may not know about as well. His doesn't run out until after the Royal Rumble. So instead, I'm going to go with the dude that I have winning the whole thing. I'm going to say that Finn Balor, as I mentioned, comes back. It's about time. I don't think he's been saying a lot on social media recently. No. Not a lot of teases one way or the other, so it's just been quiet. So I think maybe that's a sign that he might show his face.
Yeah, it's a good indicator.
Albeit covered in demon paint.
As for the 3 people that I saw during the Royal Rumble, it is all about the game, and it's how you play it. Unfortunately, when Triple H makes his entrance, he gets the snot beaten out of him by Seth Rollins, who has finally been able to find Triple H. Not because he couldn't go to WWE headquarters in Connecticut. No. It's not because he can't go there, doesn't know where he works. It's just that Seth has been booked to do so many appearances and house shows by Triple H himself that he never has the time to get there. And he has been so mad for so long that 6 months, 9 months of rage, whatever he has, just all convolutes in this one moment. And it's gonna be fantastic. Speaking of things that aren't fantastic, though, James Ellsworth, the Turtleless Shell, is going to debut at...
They are, aren't they? They're going to do that.
At like 17 or something, and he's going to run around. He's going to eliminate somebody. It's probably going to be somebody... He's going to eliminate somebody he shouldn't eliminate, and it's going to be really annoying, and then guess what?
It's going to be Braun Strowman somehow.
Yeah, he's going to eliminate Braun Strowman, okay? Just to continue that. But here's the thing. At 19, right after him, you hear the wonderful, glorious sounds of JBL's theme music as he takes center stage, walks up, and clotheslines from hell James Ellsworth so badly that you don't see him on TV for 2 months. And I don't care, for the record, I don't care who wins in any of these matches or who wins the Royal Rumble, as long as JBL decapitates James Ellsworth, everything is worth it.
Just yells nerd down at him and leaves.
Yep. I mean, he might fall on his way out, and that's the thing, is he probably accidentally falls over the top rope because he fell on SmackDown. I mean, it happens.
You joke, but I wouldn't be surprised to, at some point on SmackDown in the somewhat near future, see JBL interact somehow violently with Dolph. Considering the recent Lawler segment this week on SmackDown, Dolph was kind of coming over the announce table, and JBL stood up and was looking like he was squaring up, and I'm like, oh shit, what?
Alrighty, do you think there's anything else we need to talk about? It doesn't matter. I am so sorry. I'm not sorry.
Dang it. All right, so I think then that's
it.
That'll cover it. So I sure hope you're watching this before the Royal Rumble, because that means I got to upload it before the Royal Rumble. But if you're not, let us know how this version of reality differs from the ones that we managed to visit. Let us know in the comments what some of the predictions you have might be, special appearances, who wins the matches, etc. And for who you think is going to win the Royal Rumble, let us know who you think they're going to face at that WrestleMania match. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You know the drill. It's all down there. Thank you so much for watching this. I'm Pete, Last Guy.
I'm Rick Robinson, the man of 1,000 puns, and we are out in 1, 2, 10. Oh, why did I follow along with that?
10.
Speaking of people who aren't that was bad.
No, if you think Charlotte's unbeaten in pay-per-views streak is going to end with her very first ever main roster championship match against Bayley, then I've got a border wall to sell you. We'll cut that. Kev! Sorry.
Oh man, I am so bad at this. And that's the point when Kenny Omega actually does show up, but he changes his name to be he list of all heel names when he debuts in WWE as Kenny Omega. We'll also cut that part out. Sorry, kids.
There's be a special section at the end, like Trump joke trigger.
Subscribe hardcore. Subscribe.